Listen up, listen up. Today's topic is on loneliness. Now, this comes up during the holiday season because there's a lot of us that suffer because we've relocated. And of course, it's natural to miss somebody who has gone on and deceased. And sometimes when those people are no longer here, we can get lonely. And sometimes there's some of us who just can't be alone for long periods of time. We get very needy. Now, one of the things that I've studied, not by firsthand, but by brothers that would come and tell me and talk to me about solitary confinement, which I'm really against solitary confinement. I don't think that solitary confinement makes people better or reforms people. I think it's barbaric. However, the brothers told me that there are many other brothers that went crazy, lost their minds in solitary confinement, but the ones that I talked to survived, and the way they survived is changing their perspective about being alone, changing their perspective about what was happening to them. Some of them even begin to feel the presence of a higher power. They begin to tap into themselves. They begin to say things like, you know what, you could have my body, but you can't have my mind. My mind is free. My mind is at peace. My spirit is at peace. That even though they were alone, they were able to mentally and spiritually tap into something that allowed them to feel as though they weren't. Now, I haven't gone through those drastic, conditions, but I've been with a partner and divorced. I've had people in my family pass. And I realized that I love company. But after my divorce, I had to kind of learn to be alone, live alone for long periods of time. Some of us are very clingy and needy. Now, I may disagree with some of those, some of my comrades, because I'm in the mental health field in terms of my study. And they say, well, you need socialization. I'm very careful about the word need, that you need someone. Now, there are very few things that we need. We need food, but you can go without food for 30, 40 days and survive. I have went without food for a couple of weeks and was stronger the seventh day than I was the first day. And it's possible. Now, we can't go too long without water because our body is 75% water. You are water. Therefore, you need water because that's who you are. But you can go some time without it. But there are very few things that you need. Now, I love money and I love to be a millionaire. And some people say, I need $1 million. You want $1 million. And with abundance, we all want to attract that type. Not all of us, but myself want to attract that type of income. But it's not 100% necessary for me to live with it. I can live without it. So there are very few things we need. I need a man. I need a woman. Sometimes we need to examine why it is that we can't be alone. Now, loneliness is a perspective. Remember, I said practice. Practice means, sometimes I get lonely, but a practice until we're perfect, a practice until we get there. We can't live this life and be clingy. And there's some of us that don't know how to be alone. So let's talk about that for a couple of minutes. The only way you're going to learn not to be lonely is to spend before it gets to the time that you're really going to be alone. And it's going to be you, yourself, and the person in the mirror. Practice. One of the ways to practice is to take yourself out on dates. Go to the movies alone. Go to dinner alone. Enjoy your own company. Walk the beach. Breathe in air. Inhale and exhale. Feel your own presence. Spend time in meditation where you get comfortable with your own soul. Journal. Know what you're about, what your interests are, who you are. Enjoy yourself. In fact, people are not going to want to be around you until you've learned to love being around you. Some of us drive people away because if we don't want to be by ourselves and we don't enjoy our own company, who's going to enjoy company with us? And the longer you can be alone by yourself and enjoy your own soul, the more you find out what you're made of and what your needs are. Some of us are unfair. We want a mate to take care of our needs, and it really is not the mate. It's the fact that we are not self-satisfied. Now, when we can't be alone, what we're saying is we're not enough. We're inadequate to be alone. We're inadequate by ourselves. We need somebody. You don't need somebody to complete you. That's the wrong perspective. Matter of fact, if you have that perspective, you'll be lonely with a room full of people. You are enough. You are adequate. Now, I'd like to add a component that helps me. See, after divorce, I got lonely. And then I had to practice some things. I read up on people who spent long periods of time. The Thich Nhat Hanhs and the Yoganandas. And I read about a black brother in Jet Ebony magazine years ago who took a vow of silence. And he went into the wilderness. I thought when he came back he was going to bug out because he was small when I went in. When he came out, I think I was like either high school or college. And I read he came back and he came back amongst society. He was fine. I'm not saying that's for everybody. For some people, it would be a bit much. But it goes to show you that we have the ability to be alone and not lonely. Now, one of the main things is our mental and spiritual perspective. One of the things that I do personally is I know that when we believe we look for God outside of ourselves in the sky, but one of the main places to look for divine or higher power, whatever you call it, is within. And as long as God or my higher power is within, I'm never by myself. I always feel like I have company, like I have help, like I have support. And as long as I have within me that being, then I can be. And I'm not afraid of being alone. Because I'm really never alone. I always have company. It's a divine and spiritual perspective that I have everything that I need within. Now, I love company. I love to be with my wife. I love her company. I love family. I love to sit with people one-on-one. I'm not a real party person, but I love having quality company. But my wife may one day not be in this physical realm, meaning she may die. I may leave her. And then we have to adjust. And with these practices, before that time comes of loving our own company, we have a better chance of being alone and not lonely. Peace, for knowledge is spoken. Listen up, and thank you. Happy holidays, y'all.